His deck pool was really, really deep. He only repeated a couple of win conditions throughout the entire day. Otherwise, it was basically just, I'm going to run everything that is working in the meta. And starting off with an Ice Spirit and a Tesla could be a lot of things. Maybe he does want to go with Expo again to start things off. I'd be very surprised, but wouldn't be mad about it. Perfect interaction there. And definitely not going to be Expo. Expo usually not with the Ice Spirit anyway, but we could dream. And Giant Skeleton does not sneak through to the tower. Tanjiro gets the card down just in time. Fireball out to deal with the minions. And that Golden Knight not going to connect with the help of a Log and Skellies. RYLEY at a total of 87.5% win rate. In Group H, he had a really nice group stage, but the Swiss stage was a little bit more difficult, only going 66% in terms of win rate, 12-6. But his group did have a soft Nikoko and Rafael Nadal, and Celestia Vow, who actually had some pretty good upsets. So here we go, MK plus Hog. MK tanking, EQ comes down for the Tesla. Hog should get maybe 2 hits, only gets 1. Right now, RYLEY having a hard time getting on offense, having trouble dealing with these minions. And Giant Skeleton not close enough. Well played there by Tanjiro. This Musketeer is something that RYLEY's going to have to figure out how to abuse as this matchup goes on, and Hog comes out opposite lane. Nice, the Evo Mega Knight is out of cycle.
You always gotta love seeing RYLEY run the Hog, and right here, Giant Skeleton. It's so good, but in these situations, Mega Knight starts to get really scary.
And that is a difficult interaction there. The Mega Knight leaps just as the Tesla is played. Fireball comes down. Mega Knight leaps on top of tower. Golden Knight completely ignored opposite lane. Mega Knight does get a hit on tower as well. RYLEY takes the lead for a split second there, and then gets overwhelmed in both lanes down now. 186 remaining, going Musketeer plus Hog opposite lane to try to make anything happen. MK going to come out to clean things up. Now RYLEY's going to have to worry about the counter push on the left-hand side, as this right-hand side is EQ and Log, and that should do it. Tanjiro with a big upset in game number 1.
And right here, he's going to try to do something, not going to work. Power down to 544, but what an opening start for Tanjiro. I mean, MK seems to be really solid right now.
Here, then it was Skeleton King, E-Golem. So he had Golem and E-Golem with Evo Skarmy in a deck, and Pedro wanted nothing to do with that. He was able to win that game, and then Tanjiro closed things out with the Giant Skeleton Loon minor deck, which I saw a lot of Giant Skelly Loon as well, looking through everyone's deck pool for the weekend. RYLEY looking like he's going to be playing some Drill. RYLEY was very, very successful with Drill in the group stage and Swiss stage, and he's been making videos about it, been actually watching a lot of RYLEY's content. And it looks like Tanjiro might be going to the Giant Skeleton Loon deck. He did not have Snowball in that deck when he ran it, but he did have all the other cards that we're seeing so far, the Evo Xe, the Giant Skelly, and the Skeleton Dragons.
And there you go.
Nice cleanup there.
Giant Skeleton Executioner. And RYLEY, I love seeing RYLEY use the Evo Drill Bomber. You just know we're going to be watching some special gameplay soon.
Yeah, definitely one of the best out there in the world when you talk about playing Drill, and he's got this perfect King Tower activation. I've seen him pull it off many times before. There you go. Good placement on the Drill. Bomb going to set that King Tower off, which is going to be really, really helpful to deal with the miners, deal with that little Larry inside of the balloon, and of course DPSing down that Giant Skeleton.
So a little bit different with the Evo Snowball. And Evo Snowball and Balloon decks is always super interesting. You think it's going to be this great thing, it's going to synergize perfectly, but then it kind of just pushes everything into the middle. You have to be so careful using that with Loon.
And RYLEY not wanting anything to do with that Skeleton Dragon on the right-hand side, drops a Berserker for the left, Mighty Miner for the right. And there we go, Evo Drill in. Tanjiro maybe trying to get a Nado out, or maybe just pull the Goblins back. And then he uses the Evo Snowball and moves the Goblins forward. So just a rough set of interactions there to give RYLEY a substantial lead.
Again, forcing out a lot on defense. These goblins going to town on the tower, almost getting it down to triple digits. And RYLEY playing perfect, and that King Tower activation just makes his life so easy on defense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't even feel like he's worried about defense right now. He's putting so much pressure up that Tanjiro's elixir is just all over the place. His units now are just getting kind of desperation dropped all over the board, and looks like he has to work in the left lane now, but you don't really want to work in the same lane when you're that far behind and your opponent has poison, so he still goes back to the right-hand side. As we talked about, King Tower activation going to help out quite a bit. There's the little Larry coming out, or the Bomber Berry, whatever you want. I'm pretty sure there's an actual name, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
I like Bomber Berry.
And Evo Snowball in, Goblins down. Tanjiro knows it's over, and RYLEY going back to comfort here in game number 2 with an emphatic victory.
Yeah, I mean, just a perfect gameplay. I mean, just the fact that he's using so many quick cycle decks instead of so many heavy decks. He tried out Lava, and I like that. But using so many quick cycle decks will give you a lot of freedom in your third game.
And curious to see if Tanjiro goes to the skies. Definitely had some success with that this last weekend in the group stage. But coming out with Cage right away, and RYLEY going to Marcher Goblins. And Hero Barb Barrel. Rich and I talked about this a little bit during the English versus Spanish Creators event. Shout out to Team English there, who was able to come away with the dub. But Hero Barb Barrel is pretty fascinating because it's a card that, when it's used correctly, wielded by the right player, can actually be incredibly annoying to deal with. It's something that I just didn't really... I think it was a really brilliant rework there to make a card that is basically only had a couple responsibilities over the years, now to become something that can be an annoying offensive threat.
Yeah, anytime you can really add skill to a card, it also makes it a pretty interesting update. And yeah, it's nice to see Barb Barrel have a lot of freedom and a lot of different uses.
So looking like Tanjiro could be going to the skies. We could be seeing Lava. He ran a Lava deck that had Baby Drag and Evo Cage and Spirit Empress in it. Some changes, though, had Dark Prince instead of Valkyrie. And RYLEY going to Piggies. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, messed up the interaction by just a little bit. Never really want to be giving up that Magic Archer damage, but should not be the end of the world. And right here, decent push, getting a little bit of pressure on both sides, and getting both towers to about 2,000 HP.
Yeah, nice pick there for Tanjiro to go with the Valkyrie instead of the Dark Prince, just to deal with the Piggies. Maybe something he was looking for, knowing that everyone was running a ton of pigs, including RYLEY. So I do like that pick, even though Dark Prince can be decent against Piggies. Valkyrie definitely better, especially in Evo form. Which is why we're seeing RYLEY do dual lane pressure, and that Barb going to tank for those Goblins just a little bit. Very fortunate there for RYLEY.
Yeah, really good timing right there with the Barb Barrel plus Goblin activation. Good, solid lightning, but this is going to be a pretty big push, and RYLEY doesn't have a ton of elixir.
Yeah, opting to use the Evo Valkyrie on offense instead of defense here, and now a Dark Prince comes down, kind of a desperation Dark Prince. No elixir in the tank for RYLEY, as that Baby Dragon is tanking for the pups. Another Lava at the bridge, and now goes Evo Piggies opposite lane to try to bait out some attention. Zap plus Fireball going to clean it up, and RYLEY is in trouble, AC, able to retarget the Lava with the E-Spirit.
Yeah, didn't panic, used the E-Spirit plus Bomb Tower to perfection. And, I mean, he's trying to pressure properly, but it's just not working. Tanjiro, whenever he has the wrong cards in cycle, he has the right evolution, and whenever he doesn't have spells, he's got a different way to take out a troop on the board. He's just playing this to perfection.
And a shake of the head there by RYLEY, knowing he's in trouble. Has to Lightning on top of that Spirit Empress, plus the Lava Hound. Can't deal with the Baby Dragon, and a big upset here in set number 2. RYLEY could see the writing on the wall for a while, and a very nice pick there